Good morning, everyone, and welcome to InspireCast. I'm really excited about today's episode because we're going to have some guests. But before we get into that, I want to give you a couple of announcements. So first things first, a Good Friday is coming up, and we have a service that's going to be at 6 p.m., and there will be childcare for infants or birth through kindergarten, and we would really love for our families to come and experience this service. It's going to be a little bit different, going to be pretty somber. But that's Good Friday, and it's important that we teach our families what the meaning of that is. And then following that, 3 days later, is Easter. And so we hope that you are planning on coming and inviting a friend to our Easter services. That has full kids ministry programming, and we're just excited to see how many friends you bring with you, and I'm excited to see what God does during that time. Then the weekend after that, we're having our Hawaiian Luau weekend, where I really, really want to see all of the Hawaiian shirts, like the ones with the really, really hideous prints, maybe some that are cute. I don't know. I'm not a Hawaiian shirt expert, but if you have something Hawaiian shirt themed, wear it, please. And so that's the weekend after Easter, and there's going to be some fun things for that as well. And then we have one more thing coming up, the April 29th, which is at the end of April. That was stupid. You know what I mean. We're going to have a new class starting that is called Lectio course. It's a course, 5-week course that talks about how to do Lectio Divina, which is an ancient spiritual practice, and I would really encourage you to think about signing up for that class. It's just a short little class before we break for the summer, but I think it's going to be a good opportunity for you to engage with Scripture in a different way. Now, like I promised, today's episode is a little different, so we have two guests with us today. We have Megan and Esther, and so welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
So just to start us off with a slow kind of fun question. What do you guys think is the rudest animal?
Well, I definitely say baboon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an answer only you could come up with. Have you had a lot of experiences with baboons?
Yeah. Baboons, monkeys, any of them. But I think baboons, even at the top of the monkeys, are most rude.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And baboons are the ones with the blue butts, right?
Some kinds of them.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just thinking Lion King. That's where my brain is going.
Yeah. That specific kind. There's some other ones, though, but they're all rude.
Okay, so we got baboons. What do you think?
The first animal a crow? I don't know. They just seem rude and loud and black. I don't know, just invasive. I don't know, they just seem rude. I've never had an encounter, but that's my take on it. A crow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought crows were nice. But
Really?
I know they hold grudges, so
They're
I guess
really
if you're mean to
smart.
them.
Aren't they really smart animals?
Now I'm just thinking of,
Crow?
ironically, I know you're saying crow, but my brain is going to the Edgar Allan Poe song, The Raven.
Oh, the Raven.
Song.
Oh, yeah.
Words today are not my
Yeah,
thing.
it's okay.
Okay, if I was going to choose what I think the rudest animal is, I think it's going to be geese.
They're messy.
Yeah.
They're messy and they're mean.
And
they
come
hiss at
after
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are pretty gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my thought.
Good answer.
Okay, and now one more ridiculous question, and then we'll talk about other things.
Okay.
But would you rather have fingers as long as legs or legs as short as fingers?
Oh my goodness. Hold on.
They both sound so inconvenient.
Like, I'm looking at my hands like, legs?
Like, neither one would work well.
No.
But I've been like, I have like the shortest fingers ever. So I think if I was going to try one, like, let's try some longer fingers.
Okay.
Longer fingers.
Leg fingers. Love it.
I don't think I'd want my legs to be that short. I can't imagine. You just topple over. And so I think I'd go longer fingers. I feel like you could get more done. If you had control, and especially being a mom, I don't know, I feel like you could just like make lunches while you're...
I just feel like they'd get in the way though too. Just like,
Yeah,
like how do you drive?
You'd
Like you gotta wrap up your fingers all. I mean, I don't know. I think they both sound very inconvenient. But
Yeah.
if I had to choose, and it was a very short time, Longer fingers.
I think I'm with you. Okay, this is stupid, but can you imagine actually being able to hold all of the groceries that you buy with your fingers? Because it'd be like a bag per finger.
That's one trip.
Yeah.
One trip. I know.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be more convenient with longer fingers.
So
I think helpful.
I don't know.
Interesting question, Sadie.
Glad we had this talk.
Hopefully we don't have to try either one.
I know. I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight now.
I do know that like people can take their big toe and make it a thumb. If they like get their thumb severed, they can. There's a surgery to do that. Yeah.
That's
do
weird.
that. So who knows? But that's a thought.
Yeah.
I didn't know that could happen.
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh.
Maybe that's not real. I don't know.
2 backup thumbs if needed.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Okay, random. Okay, let's start off with just some like soft get to know you stuff, because I just want to make sure that everyone gets to know you guys, because you guys are almost always in the kids area, and so the families that have young kids might know you guys, but everyone else might not, and so I just want to start off small. So Esther, can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure, like my current family.
Who they are? Yeah.
Okay, my husband is Ben, and we've been married for 20 years.
Yeah.
And then we have 4 boys.
Okay.
Ian's 18. Josiah will be 16 in a week from today.
Okay.
And Gabe is 13, and Elijah is 9.
Ooh.
So we have all the
busy house.
We have all the ages.
Yeah.
From elementary through high school.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
Like
I was like figuring it out the other day, and I'm like, I'm gonna have high schoolers for I don't even remember how many years, but it's a really long time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a lot of parent-teacher conferences, too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
When we started here, when we first came to Fremont, I had kids in all 4 buildings in the Fremont district. So we're down to 3 buildings now, so it's getting better.
Yeah.
One of them's removed. Yay.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. Okay. How about you, Megan?
Okay, about my family. Well, I've been married to Matthew for, I think it's 18 years.
Should we fact check that?
I think I'm almost positive it's 18. And then we have Isaiah, who's 14, and then Silas, who will be 10 next week. So, yeah.
Okay.
They're fun.
Double digits.
And I know,
Yeah.
double digits.
Lots of boys. If you walk past our office on Sunday, boys everywhere.
We have the boys hangout room on Sundays. So
Yeah,
you have full discretion to intervene if fighting is going on in there, wrestling. Who knows?
You never know what's happening. We have had wrestling. We've had kids rolled up in our rug. We've had like boys wrapped up as burritos in our rug, and like other ones sitting on it when we've stopped in before.
Yeah.
So
and crumbs galore after every service.
Well, snacks.
They find snacks everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's our life in a nutshell.
I love that.
Yes.
What's something that people might be surprised to learn about you if they've only seen you in passing?
Who's going first?
How about you, Megan?
I only have 3 toes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if we were talking about toes.
If you only have 3.
No, I know. No. I have all 10 toes.
Thanks for the
fun.
I mean, that's even something, knowing you well, that I'm shocked to learn. So
No, it's very true. I have all my toes. Oh goodness, I love doing like projects around the house. I'm like the handyman of the house between me and Matthew. If there's like something that needs to be fixed or built or improved, I love doing it. Like I own all the tools in our house. So nice. I love doing projects.
What's your favorite one that you've done at this house?
I retiled our fireplace.
Oh.
And I loved it. I love it.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, that's
fun.
fun.
And I learned how to do it through YouTube. I love being doing stuff with my hands and building and stuff. So I don't get to do it all the time, but I love that.
That's fair. If you had the opportunity to completely flip a house, would you do it?
Oh gosh, that's a lot. if I had like a mentor, like if I could, like if somebody was showing, but I love learning new stuff. Like electric is a new thing I've been learning and stuff. So yeah, I don't know about a flip a new house, but like one room at a time.
Okay.
I like doing.
Yeah.
When we have the money, you know.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's usually a factor.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Esther? What's one thing people might be surprised to learn about you?
I don't know. Okay. Our family lived in Kenya for 6 years.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, if you've met me, you might know that because I've probably brought it up. But if you haven't met me, that's maybe something you wouldn't know.
Yeah. So can you explain what you were doing in Kenya?
Yeah, we were missionaries with Africa Inland Mission. We worked at a school called Rift Valley Academy, which has students from all over the continent of Africa, mostly missionary kids, but also kids from other areas there. So it's a boarding school. And so we did that for 6 years. Been taught Spanish in Africa. I know some people are kind of shocked by that. But
Yeah.
and I worked with some music stuff and just hosting students at our house a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Man, what was your favorite part of that job?
We just had really amazing students there, like really cool kids, and working with them, leading worship and just having them at our house and getting to know our kids was just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I look back on posts, it's just like lots of things about like, oh, these kids are so amazing. You guys should meet these kids. So yeah, just super fun.
What do you think is the best part about that experience for your kids now that they're living in the States?
Oh, I don't know what the best part is. I think the whole thing in general, just like living in another culture and then like not only living in Kenya and experiencing that culture, but then our students at the school being from so many cultures. Like we had students from Europe and Australia and all over Africa and lots of South Koreans. And so our kids just got exposed to all kinds of cultures, and you can sit in a room and there's people having a conversation in like 4 languages at the same time. And
Wow. Yeah.
so I think it's just really cool for them to have just grown up in that environment and just having lots of different worldviews and understanding people from different cultures. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an experience.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
and that's why I really don't like the baboons. Like they shared the campus with us. And they're just pretty rude.
They were
They
the
don't
class
knock,
bullies.
They just like come in, open your door. They know they can like open doors, you know. So yeah.
Did you have to like lock your doors then a lot in order to like make
I
sure
didn't.
they stayed
They
out?
weren't too bad. While we lived there, they weren't really bad. But we left when the school shut down during COVID. And I heard during COVID when the students were gone, the people left living there, they said the baboons just like took over campus. They were opening doors, walking in buildings, and they were having to keep everything locked. We had monkeys in our house frequently. Okay. They would just come through windows or whatever and steal food and make a mess. But the baboons, our house was like more central in campus, and so the baboons at that time were staying closer to the fences and the outskirts, but they eventually started taking over.
Crazy.
So you skipped the worst of it.
Yeah, I did. I missed it. But I didn't like when I would go for walks, you know.
Yeah.
You had to be careful.
Well,
You got to have like guys with you or go in groups to keep the baboons away.
Wow.
that's a little terrifying.
Yeah, it's a whole other world.
Okay. Okay. My brain just like stuck in the baboon conversation. What is one childhood memory that still makes you smile?
I just loved going to my grandparents' farm growing up. Like I just have lots of memories, like building forts in the hay barn and like going out in the field and picking flowers before the hay was cut, or like we would catch frogs and have like frog races in the yard, and we would throw apples at the cows and stuff. So just like pretty much everything, like just going to my grandparents' farm. I just have lots of good memories there.
Okay, you said frog race.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit? Because in my head, I'm thinking like, how do they not just like jump away?
Well, you typically use like tree frogs, like not your big bullfrogs. Like we would catch all these little tree frogs, and a couple years raced toads instead. It didn't go super well, but we kind of made lanes, and then you put your frog down, and you have a little stick, and you're just trying to like.
You just poke it with a stick?
Kind of move them along to cross the finish line.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did that quite a bit.
I'm trying to picture childhood you, just like,
yeah.
Come on, Froggy.
I mean, I'm the oldest child in my family, and I'm like on my mom's side, I'm like the oldest granddaughter also. So I was kind of just like your bossy, organized oldest.
Okay.
Child type.
I love that.
That's how you can picture me as a child. So
I love that. It's amazing. How about you?
Oh man. So my parents were really intentional with family time. And so every Friday night was family night. And so as like younger that was great, but as a teenager it was like, no, I just want to go hang out with my friends or whatever. And they're like, no, it's family night. Like but they were so good with just making the most of little things. Like I don't even know, sometimes it was just a movie night at home, or we used to go to the mall and then you could pick which, in the food court, you got an option of what you could eat. You know what I mean? And there's 6 of us in our family. So that was like fun. And then everyone could pick a store that we could browse. No buying because we didn't have the money, but you could go browse a store at each of the siblings. And then, I mean, you just knew every Friday night was family night, and there was good memories. And my dad always made no-bake cookies. And that was a big thing. The one, his doesn't have peanut butter in it.
Oh, amen.
Yeah, no peanut butter, just pure chocolate.
Yes. They're a little crispier, but they're so good.
But we called them cow pies. That's what we called them growing up. Cow pies, because that's what they looked like.
Yeah.
So
I know,
our memories are connected.
Yeah, right, yes. I didn't grow up on a farm, but we ate the cow pies. But
We poked
Not real
sticks in
ones.
the cow pies.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, no.
So a little different, but
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, I guess just family nights. These were like just ingrained, like our family times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. What's one thing that you guys love doing when you're not working?
Oh man, I love a good book.
What genre?
Oh man, I'm
Or just a favorite?
really into like historical fiction right now.
Okay.
Take me back.
Yeah.
Or like a memoir, like a good
Oh,
memoir.
yeah. Okay.
Just people's stories. But yeah, I love, that's like my relaxing go-to thing. Give me a good book and a blanket. And
I was gonna say,
coffee.
do you have a specific seat at your home that that's your reading chair?
Yeah, I'm usually right there. The couch in the front. We have a place called Conversation Corner in our house, and it's the couch in there. And usually, Silas is on top of me somehow. He's snuggle-bug. So yeah, I'm usually reading a book with a blanket with Silas's legs over me or something. So
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
I love to read.
How about you?
I don't know. I feel like there's not lots of free time at my house, but I like hosting and having people over, and if we are actually going to be home and around, we like to have people over. I like to cook.
Yeah. Esther is a phenomenal cook.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Seconded and
She
thirded
could
and
open
fourth
her
and
own
fifth.
place, and it would be so good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Literally everything you make is good.
Well, thanks.
So, oh goodness. Can you describe what a typical work week looks like for you guys?
Yeah.
I feel like every week's a little different for me because there's different parts of prepping for the next month. But I would say I feel like the week ends on Sunday though, so I wouldn't start with Sunday. I would say Monday, we're in, and Megan and I do a touch base Monday mornings, okay, how did everything go? Is there anything that we need to address? Do we need to fix anything? Did any technology not work yesterday? How did it go with any new volunteers? Do we need to, help them, learn something that we didn't think about before we threw them in there. So we do a touch base Monday morning, and then it's like we're cleaning up from Sunday and getting all the materials out of the rooms and, making sure things are ready there. And then, we lesson plan. We usually try to keep like at least a month ahead on that, if not farther when we can. And then depending on the time of the month, like I'm scheduling out all the volunteers we have 80 something volunteers on the kids team. So getting all those scheduled and, everybody where they fit and when they're not out of town and who they want to serve with and getting that whole maze of scheduling figured out is a big part of my job. Okay. And Tuesday mornings we have staff meeting. Mm-hmm. So we all get together and like collaborate across all the ministry areas and like slow down a little bit. Maybe first before we start that. Pray, whatever. And then the rest of the week is pretty much just more planning and scheduling and I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add to that? I'm trying to think what else.
I mean, sometimes children's ministry makes you do the oddest things. Like, yesterday I was out digging dirt in the backyard and like I needed dirt for an episode. Tiffany's like, there's a big compost pile. So I was out there like shoveling dirt in like gallon-sized bags. Like you just get the most random things. And like usually when we're having like a huge event, we just leave Walmart looking crazy with like bags of candy or like 600
Easter,
marshmallows or like we just do the most random.
Last Easter for Peeps popcorn and punch.
Oh man!
When Megan and I left Walmart, people were like
2 carts of peaches,
of Peeps and jelly beans. People were like staring at us, like we like sugar. Okay,
yes, we get the oddest looks sometimes at Walmart. Sometimes it's just fun. You're like
It fits the stereotype of Walmart though.
If you see us at Walmart and we have carts full of like exorbitant amounts of sugar or something, just know it's probably for church. I mean, maybe. I like myself some gummies, but usually not like
2 carts full.
Usually a whole cart. So
so it's a lot of stuff we do is just fun. Like how do we connect with kids, and it involves some crazy things sometimes, like a phone machine. Like I don't know, like where did that come from?
And learning how to run it. We were really glad we tested that one out ahead of time.
Oh man, that was a tough one, but we've learned it.
But sometimes we're researching too. We're like, we need to add some new worship music to kids. So just like listening to songs and trying to figure out like, okay, this is our theme next month. What would be a good one to add? Or But it's nice. We do collaborating. We share an office, so
there's a lot of stuff where we're like, is this an insane idea? So it's really fun to like have someone bounce off.
Do you think this will actually work, or is this going to be a mess? And you're like, oh
my word! I know my biggest mess I've ever had in children's ministry, like fail.
My
word! It was I had packing peanuts, and I had a timer for a minute. And I laid out the packing peanuts all across like our large group area, and they had to try to get the most packing peanuts on the other side of the team's line. You know what I mean? So there's like packing peanuts being thrown. And I thought like, okay, at the end, everyone needs to pick up now. No, they shredded the packing peanuts and then they stuck to the children's clothes and in their mouth and in their hair. And my volunteers, like while this was going down, like 20 seconds into it, I was like, this was a huge mistake. And we still have 40 seconds left to go. And there was packing peanuts everywhere.
Yeah, they were smashing them, stepping on them. They're like, we didn't know packing peanuts.
Yeah, and then at one point, all the kids were like, did you know you could eat packing peanuts? And I was like, no! That was the worst. Oh, my word. I had one volunteer, Ryan Ingersoll, stepped up in between services and he vacuumed packing peanuts for an hour, I think. Yeah. And then second service, we switched plans. I don't even remember what we did, but packing peanuts were out.
He said, biggest collaboration fail right there. No.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Oh, man. It won't happen again.
No.
Okay, fair enough. So that kind of correlates. This probably won't be the answer, but my next question is: what's one thing about kids ministry or kids ministry and faith that has surprised you beyond the fact that packing peanuts was a bad life choice?
That surprises in a good way or a bad way?
I'm hoping for good, but if it was bad, that's okay.
I mean, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people would be surprised just like how deep kids' faith is. Like it's not just surface. Like it's not like kids really think about things and like ask questions, and they really can have deep, seated beliefs about things. Like it's not just surface, and like what you tell them is what they believe. Like I think maybe a lot of people would be surprised by that if they spent time with the kids.
Oh yeah. And I would say how much I learn from the kids, like through their question asking, through their praying. Like you can learn a lot about a kid when they pray and what's on their heart, and I think that even when they're worshiping, oh my goodness, I think that's my favorite time with the kids is. Sometimes they're just, I mean, some kids, they want nothing to do with worship because it just seems silly. But other kids, they are like raising hands unashamedly. And there's something when a room full of kids is worshiping. It's powerful. Yeah. So I kind of like it better down at the kids area during worship than with the adults. I'm sorry. But they're a lot more loose, and they just, are not afraid to dance for Jesus
unhindered.
Or worship. Yeah, unhindered. So,
okay.
Yeah. I think that.
Well, that might be your answer to my next question as well. But my next question is what is a moment that you had while working kids ministry where you thought to yourself, yes, this is why I do this?
Yeah, I would say worship. And it's every week.
Yeah.
It's that.
And I think seeing kids that have been in kids ministry that like when they graduate out saying like, I want to come back and serve. Yeah. I think that's also a moment where you're like, okay, like this has become real for them. Yeah. So I think outside your normal answers of like, salvations or when a kid wants to get baptized, but I think also just like that when you see them living it out, and then when you see them wanting to come back and serve, or I think those are the really cool moments.
Yeah. They're like teaching what they've been learning.
Yeah. You see them leading a group and explaining things to kids, and you're like, wow, that's when you go, this was worth it. Yeah.
Okay. On the kind of opposite end of that scale, what do you think is the biggest challenge that you guys are facing in children's ministry now?
I don't know. I think families are so busy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so just, I don't know. I think just having families like prioritize faith in Jesus and having kids see that like that's what's most important at home. Like that's mom and dad make time for that over sports and all these other things that are going on. I just think that competition for time is like getting greater and greater now than it ever has been before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I mean, parents are discipling their kids, whether it's being successful in life or how to be priority of sports or like they're discipling in whatever their lifestyle is. And so I mean, our whole curriculum is partnering with families and church to help kids have a lasting faith. And I think maybe just communicating with parents that we want to partner with them, and the resources that our curriculum has are phenomenal. And we have an app that parents can go on every week, and they can have prompting questions that we at church will emphasize teaching that coming weekend. So it almost like easily prepares like at the dinner table or when you're driving to soccer practice. Hey, ask these questions, or at bed when you're tucking them in, like, hey, ask this question because we're going to talk about Sunday. So like start it at home, and then we'll emphasize it more. And
we post those. We have Inspire Kids has a Facebook page, and we post those too. Like every Wednesday we say, okay, coming up on Sunday, this is the Bible story we're talking about. Here's questions you can ask. Start the conversation at home now, so that Sunday then we just like reiterate it, because parents have way more time with their kids than we do. And so it's great if it can start, if conversations start at home, and then by the time Sunday comes, we talk about it and they're like, oh yeah, my mom and dad told me that this week. And then that's just something, you know, that's just even stronger cemented in their minds too, because they're getting it from all the adults in their life. So
yeah, that's fair. I saw a reel on Instagram the other day where a pastor was giving his weekend sermon, and he asked the question, he goes, what would happen if parents put as much time, energy, and effort into their children's faith lives as they did into their children's sports? And the crowd like audibly like, ooh, like you heard everyone react to that. But it's so true, because people are spending so much money as well in kids sports, and the chances of getting scholarships is so low.
Getting the best equipment, getting like personal coaches, getting like nutrition,
the payoff
preparing them.
The payoff is they might get a scholarship to play that might make college a little bit cheaper, that might benefit them in life. But then like if you put the same time, energy, and effort into their faith, that's eternal. You know, so that's a huge thing.
It's hard, but I would say that is a big challenge.
I know. Yeah. We want to help. We want to help, you know? And so I guess just strengthening that partnership that we have.
Awesome.
So, and I think, and I don't even know if we can say this, but we are working on stuff, events where we're doing intentional family. I don't want to give away too much, but
that's
stuff's coming up soon.
Sneak peek.
Of intentional family evenings where we can help equip families with practical tools and stuff. So keep your ears open. For
love that
stuff.
Okay. Random question: if you weren't in ministry at all, what would you be doing instead?
Cooking. I don't know. Farming.
Making all the good food.
Maybe teaching. Teaching. But I don't know. I don't know if I could be a
did
teacher
that.
nowadays.
Before this job, I did that. I don't think I want to go back to it.
I love teachers. They're phenomenal. But I don't know if I could do it. Yeah, I would say... What would I be
She would be
doing?
flipping houses.
Yes, Extreme Makeover Megan Edition.
I would watch that.
I love it. I would watch it too.
I'd be like, hold on, guys, I gotta YouTube this. Like, let me figure out how to
My
do this
husband,
wiring.
we joked about that one because we've done so much and we're still working on our house and our cabins. And someone one time said, "Oh, we'd love to watch what you guys are doing," and we're like, "Yeah." We joked all the time. Yeah, our home improvement show would be like, we're going to try to fix this, but we don't want to spend any money on materials, and we don't have the correct tools to do this. So let us watch a YouTube video, and then we're going to come back and figure out a different way to do this.
Right.
That's going to take 10 times as long.
Oh, no.
So it'd be entertaining at least. Like
You learn so much. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. What has been the weirdest or most unexpected moment that you've had while working with kids? That's appropriate to share.
I know.
It was funny. A couple weeks ago, it was really cute. In the one of the kindergartners said to one of the other ones, "Oh, Miss Esther, I've known her for 100 years." And I was like, "I think you're 5. And I'm definitely not 100, so." But it's cute listening to kids talk, and I have no idea what they're going to say.
Yeah. I mean, if you were here for Family Sunday, and our adorable little Harper got up and prayed during second service, and she was so passionate about praying for
The sloths and the unicorns and the dino nuggets.
And she just, I mean, you never know. I think it was actually her when we were praying at a huddle, and my grandparents had just passed away, and Esther was like, "Does anyone want to pray for Megan?" And, you know, that her grandparents just passed. And she goes, "I will." And we're like, "Oh, like the sweetest, this little girl wanted to pray." And she prayed that my grandparents would have McDonald's in heaven when they got there. It was the
Make sure they have the best food there, like McDonald's.
Yeah,
and we were all like melting listening to their prayer. It was so cute.
Yeah. So that's
cute.
Sweet. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think just never knowing what will come out of their mouths.
Yeah. Kids do say the darnest things.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely do.
Is there a time from your years working in ministry that has stuck with you, like something that was really powerful, like a moment just like kind of comes back to your brain every now and then, that really like either changed either how you do ministry or maybe how you approach certain things? Maybe it's something you did poorly that you're like, okay, never doing that again. Right. So it sticks with you, like either way.
Peanuts. That again. That stuck out huge. I mean, being able to baptize kids, that's been so cool. Seeing them step out and do that. And I don't know. I think maybe even we have some incredible like volunteers who week in and week out just invest so much. And so I think just like the dedication, like I even had a volunteer this past week who was like, I need to volunteer every week because I need to get to know these kids better. That's the only way I'm going to reach them, is if I really get to know who they are. Like when you get the right volunteer who's passionate about kids, the difference that they can make and the passion that just naturally comes out that God has given them. And then you're like, oh, we're so lucky just to have. I mean, the other day we were crying.
When we watched the video we showed for Fifth Sunday of our volunteers. Yeah. Megan and I weren't together when we watched it, but we were texting each other and we're like, our volunteers are so amazing. I was crying watching that.
I know.
So we just love them.
Yeah. They're, I think, just the team that, I mean, Esther and I can't do it alone. That's for sure. Yeah. And so I think just the small group, I mean, there's 80 some of them, but like the small group community that we get through our volunteer team has been so cool. Okay. So,
Same for you, or do you have a different moment or memory?
I don't have anything to add right now, probably.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's people.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. Okay, what is your approach to partnering with parents? So I know that you mentioned you have the Facebook page, and there's an app, but is there like, I don't know, is there an email? Is there a philosophy behind it or something? I don't know.
I think Megan shared a little bit of that earlier. Like, the curriculum we use is called Orange, and I think we've shared that before. Like, parents are the heart of the home, and they're with their kids like most of the time. And then the church being the light in the community. And so that mixture of like the red and the yellow coming together as a partnership. Yeah.
What's the name of the app?
Oh my goodness.
Is it Parent Q?
Parent Q, yes.
Yeah. You're putting us on the spot.
Yeah, Parent Q. Yep, Parent Q. And you can, I think I shared this once at a Fifth Sunday, you can put in different like accounts for each child that you have, and so and you put in their birthday, and then it tells you where they fit, like, and then it actually tells you how many weeks you have left with that child until they graduate.
Like so every time you open the app, so it's like a slap in the face all the time.
Like, Esther, you only have like 4 more weeks with Ian, you know what I mean? Like, it just really puts down concrete of like, okay, this is how much they have time under my roof.
And things like, developmentally they're in this stage, and so here's things that are like really important to them right now. So when you talk to them, like focus on these things,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Orange has got like some great parent resources, like called Phases, and it just, they even have a book on every age. Okay, if your child is in 3rd grade, they have a resource for, okay, this is what they're developmentally going through, like this is what they're thinking about, this is what they're struggling about, and just really practical resources that can help you.
I'm pretty sure we're going to stock those once we get a resource wall.
Yeah.
So when the construction is all done.
And we have some copies in our office too, if anyone wants to look at them.
Yeah.
But those will be out eventually with the resource wall. And then also options for like Bibles for different age kids that are really good. And we hope to have some more of that out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
The orange booklets are pretty cool.
They are.
So for the different phases.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Last question. How can people be praying for and support you guys in your ministry?
Oh man, well, we've got changes coming up with like the new building, and so it's a lot of environmental changes and just flopping, and just even the concern of every Sunday, are we going to have rooms available for the kids, So I would say just that, and I don't know.
Praying for our volunteers, and then just as they invest in kids and build relationships with them and get to know them, and just as they're able to be reflections of Jesus to them. So you can pray for them. You can always pray for more people to join our team too, because we're always trying to add more people. As we grow as a church, there's more kids, and that means we need more volunteers, and just having those people that are really consistent in their life, that are other adults who know Jesus and follow him outside of their parents, that they can talk to, and is just super important. So you can always pray for more volunteers. You can pray for the people already serving, and just as they work with the kids, you can pray for the kids, that they just really that they just have a real knowledge and understanding of who Jesus is and how much he loves them.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the biggest roles that you need filled for volunteers?
Right now, we need people to help just greeting families when they come in and checking in new families. That's a really easy job. You come at the beginning of service, greet people, check them in, and then you can actually go sit in service, and then right at the end, when they're closing in prayer, you head back down to check kids out, so you don't even miss service really for that one. So that's a big need. We need some people in the nursery, just with infants, holding babies, no lesson, anything like that. And then small group leaders with our elementary kids, taking a group of a few kids. We're trying to get the groups even smaller, and so we need more leaders to be able to do that, so that we can keep groups down to 5 or 6 kids, and just have good intentional time praying with them and getting to know them. So I would say those are the biggest. I also have a rotating team for pre-K, and I have a need for one pre-K teacher at 11 a.m. that I need to get filled. That's just been a hole for a while. So there's somebody out there that's going to do that.
Your facial expressions are amazing.
And we are also looking a large group leader down in elementary. And if it's not even teaching, it's more like being goofy and leading a game. And then our worship is just directing them to the worship screens, and our lesson is done on video, and it's just kind of, if you're not afraid to be on stage in front of kids and just having fun, that's always a need up there.
Okay.
I know. And if you're a grandpa, I just want a grandpa down on my end of an elementary school.
Have a grandpa vibe?
I want a grandpa vibe down there.
We having volunteers of all ages. We have middle schoolers, we have high schoolers, we've got parent age people, we've got grandparent age people, but I just think it's good for that intergenerational relationships and stuff within the church for the kids to have around. So
I know.
Okay, sounds good. Hopefully some of those roles will get filled, because now they're out there.
Know.
So hey,
you can't say you didn't know.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Words today are rough for me, but it's been a hoot and a holler. I love some of the stories, so good things. I've learned a lot about baboons and packing peanuts.
And if you put those two together,
I can imagine the mess, the chaos.
Oh goodness! But thanks so much for being here, and for those of you who are watching, I hope you like and subscribe the video, and stay tuned for our next video.